Hi, Damien here for Automotive Superstore. If you're after great bass but you've got like no space to play with because you've got to keep your entire cargo carrying area in the back of your car, then maybe, just maybe, a spare wheel well subwoofer is what you're looking for. And we've got a few in our range. These are two here from Cerwin-Vega. Used to be that they were small diameter, and certainly the ones that come in factory fitment are small, like 6.5 inches and stuff like that. But these ones, they're 10, 11, and even 12 inches in diameter, and yet still designed to fit inside a spare wheel well. Let's check them out. So what exactly is a spare wheel subwoofer? Well, as the name implies, it's a complete subwoofer module that is designed to fit inside your spare wheel, just like one of these two here from Cerwin-Vega. So it's an enclosure, a subwoofer, and in this particular case, an amplifier all built in, and it slots into the spare wheel with the spare wheel flipped face down, and then you're provided with bolts like this one that go through and bolt that through and hold it down inside the car. The thing to consider, obviously, is that various different cars have various different sized spare wheels. This one is a space saver one, so very shallow floor in my Audi, and so I've got some limitations in as far as height goes, whereas other cars have a full size spare wheel, and then you might have a smaller diameter or a larger diameter. What I have found by looking through the different models we offer for sale is that the largest diameter to deal with, which is this dimension here, it's about 360 millimeters, and so that's the measurement across from here to here. The depth is something you're gonna have to measure yourself and have a look at the specs on the subwoofers on our website to see which ones would suit your needs. Cerwin-Vega have been smart though, and they've provided 4 different versions. So there is shallow and regular depth, and then in both of those there's amplified and non-amplified. Difference being obviously the amplifier is built into this one and you've got to run all your wiring to this location, whereas the passive ones are designed to run from an external amplifier of some kind. Now maybe it could be the one that's in the car already, and a lot of cars have a subwoofer system you could upgrade by just changing out the subwoofer itself. The best plan obviously is going to be to add a subwoofer with amplifier with more power and team it with something like Cerwin-Vega's own mono amplifier, for instance. And there's dozens and dozens of mono amplifiers to choose on the market to match with a passive subwoofer like this one here. Let's dive in and have a bit of a closer look, and you can see why a spare wheel subwoofer is going to be a better solution for you than an underseat, for example. An underseat, a lot of things playing against you there. Very, very small enclosure, very small driver diameter, and really the worst possible place to put a subwoofer in a car, right in the middle where there's all these destructive bass waves pinging around the car and cancelling each other out, and that's less than ideal. Whereas a spare wheel subwoofer is right at the back of the car and is pointed downwards and fires off the floor. And so you get much better bass loading that way. So with a few bolts removed, I can take the protective bottom cover off. You can see that reveals a nice big subwoofer. All right, considering the enclosure really is just wrapped around the front and the back of the subwoofer itself. It's a really, really small volume enclosure for a 12-inch. To achieve that, they've got this rubber surround that is the same as the outer surround to seal it off and allow the pole piece to go all the way through so that you can put the mounting bolt through. And there you go, it mounts downward like that and fires through. It really is very ingenious engineering. Let's have a look at what these things are like to install and maybe have a listen to it to see how it sounds. So first of all, the passive one, it's just the same as any other subwoofer in an enclosure to connect to any amplifier you've got in your car. You've got a fly lead like this. The Cerwin-Vega passive subwoofer is a dual 4-ohm voice coil subwoofer. Rated power is around 300 watts RMS. And so you could connect that to 2 channels of a 4-channel amplifier, 1 channel to each voice coil, for example, if that suits your system and the amplifier you've got. Alternatively, you could just parallel the black and the reds together and that creates a single 2 ohm load, and that's suitable for all of the entry-level mono amplifiers that we have on our website. So pick one around the 3 or even 400 watt RMS mark, set your low pass filter, install your level controller, and away you go. Nice and simple. For mounting either of these, you've got the center bolt that come with 2 different thread pitches for that. There's also this cup here that suits one of these 2 thread pitches that may help in certain installations. That goes down and locks into certain vehicles' standard spare wheel mounting arrangements, and that comes in both of the kits for the amplified and the passive systems. For the amplified ones, you get 2 different fly leads. Let's talk about this one first. It's the remote level control. It's really handy because you need to be able to control what the amplifier is doing. At the top there's what they call gain. It's just the overall level of the output of this, and you can adjust that to adjust the subwoofer level up and down relative to the rest of the speakers in the system. The second one down is bass boost. It's to give it a bit of extra kick at around the 45 Hertz mark, but use that one sparingly. Then there's low pass filter. That's the filter that cuts off all of the high frequencies, so it just focuses on bass. I'd set that, say around 70 to 80 Hertz is going to be ideal for most systems. And then a 180-degree phase inversion button. One of those 2 positions is going to sound better. Just choose which one it is and leave it at that. Now the main wiring for installation for these, very straightforward. Here's the loom. It gives you your power, trigger, speaker level and RCA inputs. Let's have a look at a diagram to make that a bit easier for you. So let's say you've got a source unit, could be the factory source unit, could be an aftermarket source unit. Front pair of speakers. If it's a factory source unit, you can just parallel the speaker wires onto a set of the speaker wires your front ones say would be ideal. In that case, the amplifier will see that signal coming in and go, turn on when the head unit turns on, and it'll turn off when the head unit turns off. You don't need to connect up any other trigger for the amplifier to turn on and off. Alternatively, if you have an aftermarket source and you're using RCA inputs instead, you will need to connect the 12-volt trigger. Besides that, there's a fuse to the battery that you'll need to provide at the battery within, say, 30 centimeters of the battery, and then the earth cable. And that's it. Very straightforward, just like any other amplifier in any other situation. Let's plug the passive one into my car and have a listen. So here we are in the back of my Audi now. This space saver is not actually from this car. I'm just using it as an example for you to give you an idea of how this all goes together. Typically speaking, you'll either have a thread built into the floor of your car already, or you may have a little relief in there that these little tangs from this supplied cup go down and rotate and lock into, giving you something to bolt into. You're going to have one of those 2 arrangements in your car. And so I've got a mono amplifier in this quarter panel here. I've just wired the loom temporarily on. Make sure the plug's secured properly with the little clip. It sits inside the center of the wheel, and then you'll put your bolt through and lock that down. This is sitting proud because this is the taller of the 2. For a space saver like this, you're probably likely to use the slim version of these 2 woofers, but this is the one I've got the demo with. Let's have a listen. Okay, so I'll start off with the woofer turned off, and we'll have a bit of a listen to the track, and then I'll add bass. I've got a level controller for the mono amplifier in my glove box here. Okay, let's add some bass. Big difference. Okay. Again without. And with. Okay. So that's a night and day difference, even with a modest in spare wheel subwoofer like that in a tiny enclosure. And so yeah, even compared to say a factory fitted spare wheel well subwoofer that's only a 6.5, the 12-inch makes a big difference in depth and power. So there you go, spare wheel subwoofers. They're a great solution if you've got no alternative and you've got nowhere else to put a subwoofer in your car. Just got to grab your tape measure, measure up and find one on our site that will suit your needs. There'll be a link down below that'll take you through to our site where you'll find a smoking deal on subwoofers as always at Automotive Superstore. While you're down there, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.